Hello, Ambika.
Hi,
So nice to meet you here. And
likewise.
thank you so much. And we're so pleased to be hosting you here in our podcast of Insights IAS, a little more light.
Thank you for having me.
Pleasure is us. She is an architect,
Yes.
basically, working in Switzerland. So she's the epitome of where there is a will and there is a way. The will actually found its way, and you
Yeah.
have reached a very great position where lakhs of aspirants aspiring to be where you are today.
Thank you so
So,
much.
so you are actually the cream of aspirants of India.
My goodness.
Yeah, I know today you're feeling top of the world and out of the world, of the seventh heaven, on the cloud nine, definitely. But deep down, what do you feel at this moment? So, what is that feeling after being a topper? Like you must have received so many calls, congratulatory messages.
Yeah.
Some even reporters might have asked you about your opinions on
Yes.
this. So, how do you feel at this very moment? I know the results have been out since many days, and now the euphoria has settled down. What do you feel now?
I feel grateful.
You
That's
feel
I
grateful.
feel very fortunate to be here
Mm-hmm.
because I have seen what it feels like to not make it in this paper.
Mm-hmm.
So having felt that now it's like a feeling of achievement, but it's balanced with a lot of gratefulness, I would say.
Gratefulness.
Yeah.
So it is your third attempt,
Yes.
right? So how were other two attempts different from these two?
I think both the attempts that I could not make it in had
Mm-hmm.
their own flaws.
Okay.
Yeah, the first time that I was preparing, everyone used to say you have to practice answer writing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I wrote a lot of papers, I wrote a lot of answers.
Mm-hmm.
What I didn't realize was that my content wasn't enough. I lacked in substance.
Okay.
So no matter how much you practice answer writing, it's a bit difficult to make it in this paper if your content is not enough.
Right, right.
So in the second time, I think I did a bit of an overcorrection.
Okay.
Yeah, where I decided, no, this time I'm going to study a lot
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to have so much substance and so much content. And practice took a bit of a backseat.
Okay.
And there were papers that I couldn't even complete. GS1, I
Mm-hmm.
left two full answers.
Mm-hmm.
So that was quite a wake up call for me, where I realized that not only content development, also answer writing, and not only answer writing, but also content development, both are equally important.
Right,
So I
right.
tried, this time that I have to keep my feet in both these boats to stay
True,
afloat,
true.
and then
Well,
it
you sailed
worked.
successfully. Both the boats you steered clear. You managed to strike that moderation
Yes.
in this third attempt. You realized being on extremes wouldn't help you. You have to manage
Yeah.
both the content building as well as the answer writing practice.
Yeah.
So how did you manage your answer writing practice?
So one thing was I used Inside Secure a lot.
Okay.
I used to try to do it daily. Quite
I see.
honestly, it didn't happen every
Mhm.
single day.
Mhm.
But I tried to stay consistent and
Mhm.
write answers based on current affairs and the editorials that used to come that day.
Mhm.
Apart from that, I wrote a lot of test papers
Okay.
from different coaching academies and all.
Yeah.
And that's how I practiced my answer writing majorly.
Okay.
I also used previous year's questions quite a bit to not solve them completely in the sense that I'm not writing the full answers, but just to understand like how I'm going to structure my answer, think
Mhm.
about it, and that's how I brainstormed for it.
I see. I see. So I have a question on this previous year questions you just told.
Yeah.
So when you attempt a previous year question paper,
Mm-hmm.
are you trying to think the psyche of UPSC, like from where the UPSC asks? So
Mm-hmm.
what are the potential areas which UPSC might delve into, like the tangential questions that might appear, which are in the current affairs,
Mm-hmm.
but the UPSC doesn't directly ask the probable question, the
Mm-hmm.
probable current affairs question. It usually goes the tangential way, and
Mm-hmm.
then it asks. So were you thinking of the pattern, like were you spending your time on gauging the psyche of the UPSC, or you were concentrating on your content enrichment?
No, so I didn't solve any previous year's question papers
Mm-hmm.
completely from question 1 to question 20 like that.
Mm-hmm.
I use them to understand the syllabus better. So,
Mm-hmm.
whatever topic I'm preparing
Mm-hmm.
that day, for example, I'm preparing XYZ topic from XYZ paper,
Mm-hmm.
I would take out the previous year's questions that have been asked from that particular topic.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would try to see that, okay, so if this is the substance,
Mm-hmm.
what is the focus area that I should be concentrating on,
Mm-hmm.
so that my preparation is that much more refined.
Right, right. So it should be a fully rounded preparation.
Definitely.
Wherever the UPSC asks, you should be
Yeah.
equipped to answer it adequately.
Yeah.
Right, right. That's a good insights actually you gave into that. So
Yes.
I have a question about your days of preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so really you must have had some low points.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
how much and how had it weighed on you?
Twice I couldn't make it to the interview. The
Mm-hmm.
first and second time I cleared my prelims, I gave the mains exam. It's a very long, exhausting process of giving the mains exam.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, when you get to know that after so much of effort, you've not made it,
Mm-hmm.
it does weigh on you for a while, I would
Yes.
say.
Yes.
Especially if you are the sort of person who has a lot of faith in yourself.
Mm.
I always a good student in school and never really failed any exam or even came close to failing. That was
Mm-hmm.
never my concern.
Mm-hmm.
So it was quite a humbling experience when this
True.
happened. It was a big shock to me, especially the first time,
Mm-hmm.
that I couldn't make it.
You
And I
expected the failure for the first time in your life.
definitely,
Yeah.
yes. So that was a big moment for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that it doesn't matter with how much vigor you start. It's about how you keep going. So that was
Very well put. I must say, very well
that
put.
was a big learning throughout my journey, I would
So
say.
my next question is actually I was segueing into that.
Yeah.
So what are the 3 things you have
Mhm.
learned during this arduous preparation for UPSC? So
Okay.
what are the 3 things you've learned
Mhm.
that you would carry for your life?
3 is actually a very difficult number because this journey teaches you so much.
Numerous.
So many things
So
you get to learn.
just to name
But,
a few.
Okay, so first of all, I would say consistency cannot be beaten by anything. Consistent hard work, strategically consistent hard work, I would say, is one of the most important things. And that's true for any area of your life, whether it's working out, whether it's eating healthy, whether it's turning towards your career goals, even if it's skincare, for example. You can't really do something one day and expect
the results immediately.
results to come. So you have to every day keep putting something in the bank, and eventually you'll realize that you've come very far. So that would be one. The next thing that I learned is that it's important to be motivated, but it's even more important to be disciplined, I would say.
True that.
That motivation doesn't really take you right till the end. Motivation along with discipline takes you far. The third thing I would say is you decide what defines you. And this is an exam which gives you tremendous opportunities to do a lot of good in the world, especially in India. But at the end of the day, it's an exam. And you have to take it as an exam. You have to not define your self-worth with just whether your name came on a piece of paper on a list or not. And you define your own self-worth. You define yourself. And these things might come and go. Life happens. Keep going.
So absolutely humbling experience.
Very, very humbling experience, yes.
Yeah. So my next question to that is, so this rank has definitely opened a lot of doors. A door of full of opportunities, a door full of responsibilities, a door full of pressure probably. Or all the doors open at once. What do you feel about it? Like, do you feel like I can take on all the doors?
Definitely. I think if you made it through UPSC, you can make it through anything, I would say.
I like the positivity like you're entering into. It's actually, it gives you the immense strength to keep feet after feet forward.
Definitely.
Marching forward.
Because so once you actually make it in this exam, you realize why it's so difficult. Because the level of responsibility that you hold today as an officer that you will hold eventually for the government of India, you need people there who can work hard, who can persevere, who can face challenges, who can come out stronger. And so it's very important that you keep a positive outlook throughout this examination.
Yes. You were saying if the position is such great,
Mhm.
it definitely commands that much of difficulties.
Yes.
It equips you to be in
Yes.
that position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I read this somewhere recently. Like, if
Mm.
you want to reach somewhere or you want to be something that you've never been, then
Mhm.
you have to be ready to do or put in efforts that you've never put in.
Very true.
That's
Very well put. I guess you must
yeah.
have scored very good marks in essay.
This is okay.
Yeah, how much?
117.
Nice, a pretty good
Yeah.
score actually. Yeah, coming to the things you told, like the three things you told, in that you told we should not peg our worth to the success of this exam.
Hmm.
So during the preparation, you must have had, you must, like you said, you had joined for a lot of test series. You must
Hmm.
have scored few less marks also. Like, so during those less marks period, while you were securing such less marks, that must have, felt very low for you. Did it trigger other aspects of your life? The rough patch in one aspect, did it trigger any other, sectors of your life?
Honestly, there weren't many sectors in my life
Okay.
during my preparation because I wasn't working. I was not enrolled in some course or
Mm-hmm.
anything. I was staying at home. I didn't really interact too much with my friends.
Okay.
There was,
Very secluded preparation.
at least in the first year, I would say it was very isolated.
Okay.
I didn't use my phone as well.
Okay.
So, but that was not a balanced way of preparing for me. I
Mm-hmm.
think you go a little insane if you isolate yourself for too
Mm-hmm.
long.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't think there are other sectors that could be affected because there were no other sectors in my life.
Yeah, yeah. Because what
Yeah.
happens is most of the aspirants get in this loop
Mm-hmm.
where they're not scoring well, they're not clearing this exam. They're actually, their personal life is a little bit messed up. And
Mm-hmm.
because their personal life is messed up, they can't concentrate on the exam.
Yeah.
So they get stuck in the loop. So how would you suggest these people to, like, what can be the advice you can give?
I think one thing is very important, keep your closed ones close
Mm.
because you really need a lot of emotional support also during this paper.
Mm-hmm.
I was very fortunate that I had a very good support system with
Mm-hmm.
my parents, with my sister, with
Mm-hmm.
my closest friends.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think that was a very big reason that I could make it, I
Okay,
would
so
say.
you keep your closed ones close.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
those people who genuinely believe in you.
Mm-hmm.
Like so many times when I used to lose faith in myself, for example, if I'm talking to my best friend,
Mm-hmm.
they would tell me that no, their belief in me would make me believe in myself even more. And
Okay.
that's really important in this paper to have a balanced mindset,
Mm-hmm.
have people who push you further instead of pulling you down.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be my advice, that keep those people who make your life a little brighter
Mm-hmm.
close.
Very well put. Lastly, I have a thing. So you are actually the steel frame now,
Yes.
right? So as a soldier of the steel frame, what is your Indian dream? Like, as an American dream, they have, like, anyone of any class will be able to rise above and have an upward mobility in the society.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your Indian dream?
It's a very weighted question that you ask because it shows like what vision you have for your
Mm.
country for the future. For me, that dream would be that people recognize the values that India stands for, not
Mm-hmm.
just outside but within the country,
Okay.
whether that's compassion, whether that's tolerance, whether that's harmony, community, sense of belonging.
Mm-hmm.
All these things are very Indian in nature, I would say, and very pertinent in the world today, these values.
Mm-hmm.
So, recognition of these values not only on the global scale but within ourselves, we need to remind ourselves where we've come from, and that will help us go wherever we want to go.
Those are the qualities that is driving you.
Definitely, yes.
Okay. So I have a, like, little game. So it's like, I'll say a few words.
Hmm.
So you should tell me what immediately strikes in your mind.
Like a
So
rapid
it should
fire.
kind of, but it
Okay.
should be a very instantaneous answer.
I'll
Okay.
try my best.
So let's go.
Hmm.
Happiness,
Family,
satisfaction,
success,
India,
home,
wealth,
necessary,
world peace.
very necessary.
So I have one question, like, lastly again.
Hmm.
Tell me about your interview.
I think interview was the most fun part of this journey,
Yeah.
and I was very happy to have made it this time till the interview stage.
Mm-hmm.
So interview gives you an opportunity not only to understand like whatever's going on in the world, because you need to be abreast with current affairs and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but it gives you an insight into yourself, I would say, because you need to introspect about who you are, what you stand for, what are your opinions about things, why
Mm-hmm.
you did what you did in life till
Mm-hmm.
now. So all these things, I'd never really sat down with myself and deeply pondered over these
Mm-hmm.
aspects of my life. And so it was quite fun. And sure enough, in the interview itself, they asked me a lot of questions related to my background, what I stand for, my opinions on a lot of issues. And it was a lot of fun.
It was a fun
Yeah,
experience.
definitely. I had fun.
So, in the interview, do you think you drive the course of the interview?
To an extent, I would say.
You can.
You can. For example, there were questions on women development
Mm-hmm.
and my opinions about things related to that. The way that I was answering definitely led to other questions like role models or how India can improve and things like
Okay.
that, which I had already thought about. Definitely, that was a conscious decision to drive the conversation in that way. But the whole interview to be able to sit on the steering wheel, I would say, is not possible because
Mm-hmm.
those are very senior and very seasoned, I would say, interviewers who are sitting in front of you who realize more than you what you're doing,
True.
and they know how to test you, they know how to look for what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
So don't have to go in thinking that, oh, I will drive the interview or anything. Just go in with an open
Have fun.
mindset and conduct yourself in a way that's presentable, that's worthy of an officer, so
Mm-hmm.
that you put your best foot forward and you'll have fun.
Yeah. Seems like you had a great fun.
I did, I did.
So, any final advice for a fellow aspirants?
Advice, I would say, so a lot of people ask you advice after you've made it in this paper. And I think it started feeling a little bit preachy to me because honestly, this is advice that even I need in my life and I need to give it to myself.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely, I would say that stay true to yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be honest with your preparation. You have to be honest with what you want to do. And if this is something that you've decided to do for yourself, and if this is something that you genuinely want to do, then put in an honest effort and do your best. After that, leave it to the universe.
Mm.
And
Universe will take care of it.
yeah, hopefully.
So it was a very nice session talking to you.
Thank you so much. Same here.